Hi, I'm gwEm and welcome to my gwEmbassy. Last week I did a bit more of a slow-paced acid jam, probably because I've got a bit of a cold right now, as you can probably tell by my croaky voice. Wasn't feeling up to doing a banger or anything, but tune in and see how that more relaxed acid electro jam went down. For this jam, I wanted to combine the DR-55 with the SQ-64, and also on one of my weekly Twitch streams, Mark SW suggested that I use the Dreadbox Nymphes in a jam, which is a great idea. I did use it though on my last Amiga release, Slamming Silicon. With the SQ-64, the DR-55 and the Nymphes, I noticed, well, they all have a metal case, so why don't I do a jam with metal cased bits of gear. So I got out the Moog Werkstatt, and then it all started to go wrong. I wanted to use the Earwave Domino, but for some reason it didn't work very well with the SQ-64. It wasn't properly receiving the note off messages, and I'm not really sure why. I need to look into that. Was getting a bit desperate, and I just picked the first thing that I saw, which was the TD-3-MO, which has a plastic case, but never mind, it sounds good, and that's what counts, isn't it? Let's talk about the different elements of this jam. So first of all, we'll start with the DR-55. Now, this thing is an absolute beast for jams. You may or may not like the sound. It was made in the 70s, so it's not got the kind of banging punch of an 808 or a 909, but I think it does sound very pleasant. What it does have, though, is this huge knob for choosing patterns, so it's very easy to switch patterns, and you've got a switch here to change the hi-hats as well. It's using its own built-in sequencer, which is being synced as follows. So signal comes out, the SQ-64 goes into this touch-prone Sync24 converter, and then that comes out, the Sync24, into the input here. This thing does have a Sync24 converter, was a kit I found online, and that sounds like this. Very nice. The Nymphes was also kind of a prerequisite of this jam, so let's listen to what that sounds like. It's a really nice pad sound. That is being sequenced all from the SQ-64. Next thing I sequenced was the bass line, which is on the Moog Werkstatt. And that sounds very nice and Moogy. Done my usual trick using the gate signal for the VCA. It is a square wave bass with just a very small amount of pulse width modulation. I took the LFO out, and I actually did patch it into the filter of the TD3, but we'll come on to that now. Here is the acid line. Might seem strange, but I made the decision to sequence this using the CV gate output of the SQ-64. That's what this yellow and black is. You know, this has its own sequencer. I did think about sequencing something, or I could have sequenced it via MIDI. I don't know. I just fancied doing it that way. As I say, the filter is modulated from the LFO of the Werkstatt. It's more of a subtle modulation, but I think you can hear it. I'll unplug it while it's playing. Definitely does give it some movement. And then altogether, it sounds like this. Which brings us nicely on to the effects. Now, I use this most weeks. You all know about the Zoom RFX 300 now. Plastic, fantastic, but it sounds fantastic as well. I'll hit the bypass on the reverb. There's a bit of reverb on the TD3 and loads there on the Nymphes. Better with reverb for sure. And finally, the NanoCompressor. I was in two minds about using this compressor on this particular jam because the DR-55 doesn't have the punchiest of drum sound, so I had doubts if it was going to really have much effect. Also, not to forget, it's not a 4 to the floor, and generally the pump of the 4 to the floor is accentuated by a compressor as well. But I'm kind of pleased I did. So let's hear the difference with and without the compressor. This is without the compressor. And this is with. It's definitely raising the volume and making it sound more interesting. I'll play it with the compressor and then I'll turn it off and you should be able to hear the difference. So much more together and just interesting with the compressor on. Well, I hope you liked that video. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button, and maybe you could even consider subscribing to the channel, which would be absolutely awesome. It'd be nice to get to 5,000. I know I'm some way off that right now. In any case, I hope to see you in another video soon, and take care.